Listen to all your live mixes, live radio programs, and live entertaining and news package programs right here from GTR, Ghana Talks Radio. This is Ghana Talks Radio, the best station rocking the nation. GTR News. GTR News. We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
This is the afternoon news on Ghana Talks Radio, and I warmly welcome you to it. My name is Sandra Asante. Headlines: 4 people killed in road crash in Peki-Avetile. ECG cut power supply to Ghana Airport Company Limited over 49 million debt. On international fronts, Kyiv residential building hit by Russian airstrike. There's some more stories coming up after the break. Stay tuned.
Get it big, get it here. Listen to all your live mixes, live radio programs, and live entertaining and news package programs right here from GTR, Ghana Talks Radio. This is Ghana Talks Radio, the best station rocking the nation.
You're most welcome back from the break to first story. A former presiding bishop of the Full Gospel Church International, Samuel Noi Mensah, says a referendum must be held ahead of the next general elections to review the 1992 Constitution. He contends the failure to review and amend sections of the Constitution to meet current demands and needs of the society will deny the country of its intended growth and development. According to him, the country's delayed progress after 65 years of independence is partly due to the Constitution. He said the Constitution in its current state gives the president too much power that they sometimes manage the country as their family property.
Unfortunately, whoever sits in the Jubilee House has been given too much of power that, they sometimes manage the country as their family property. And that is as a result of the kind of constitution we also have. The constitution has given too much power to one single person who manages the country as if he's managing his family property or family business. And that is why in this 30th year of our democratic rule, there must be the need for constitutional review. If we want to enhance our governance, 65 years, we are not proud where we find ourselves. 65 years, we can be better. 65 years, we started with, Malaysia and South Korea. They are way ahead of us. 65 years, we shouldn't be where we find ourselves in. So where we find ourselves is not anything to be proud about. We can't compare ourselves with countries around us. But we can compare ourselves with nations that have developed. We should compare ourselves to Malaysia, South Korea, where they are now. They have become industrialized nation. Up to now, we can't do anything. We can import toothpick, tomatoes, everything we are importing. We need strong leadership that will transform our society after 65 years. And that must be something the church must begin to trumpet. And the church is trumpeting the need for constitutional review. There must be a referendum before the next election. Otherwise, this nation would definitely go down.
GTR News. GTR News.
Just a referendum before the next election.
Before the next election. After we can't go into the next election with the same constitution after 30 years. You should evaluate yourself. You should ask yourself, how well have you performed in 30 years of our democracy? What are some of the good things in the Constitution? And what are some of the things we need to review so that we can enhance and strengthen our institutions?
This is Ghana Talks Radio, the best station rocking the nation.
He therefore touched on the role of churches in the country.
And the government side can tell you that without the church playing that influential role, we can't go very far. The minority will also confirm the same. But sometimes when you are in minority, you would like to, go to the church, ask the church to speak on issues. When they become majority, and then you speak on the same issue, then they label you. Then they tell you to be quiet. They tell you to be quiet. It is only in this country, Pastor, it's only in this country or in Ghanaian politics or African politics where a presidential candidate speaks for the people, defend the people, share the pains and the joys of the people, and when he become a president, he develops the dead goat syndrome. Okay, it is only when he becomes a president then he develops the dead goat syndrome, where it's like he wouldn't listen, he wouldn't care about the people again, and would decide to do his own thing. And now, when you begin speaking,
Ghana Talks Radio, #1.
To our next story, the Member of Parliament for Nkawkaw constituency, Joseph Frimpong, has paid the tuition fees of some 56 tertiary students within his constituency. The gesture, according to the legislature, forms part of his efforts to promote education and educational activities in the country. According to him, he received applications for support from youth within his jurisdiction who are entering tertiary institutions like teacher training colleges, nursing training colleges, and technical universities. Nkawkaw MP Joseph Frimpong speaking to the media, Mr. Joseph Frimpong said that the sum of 31,000 cedis from his MP's education fund has been dedicated to pay the tuition fee of those who filed an application for his assistance. He noted that it is not a one-time scholarship, and if any beneficiary who needs help again should come next year and reapply. Some members of the governing New Patriotic Party in the Ablekuma West constituency of the Greater Accra region have condemned an attack on some supporters of Theophilus Alexis Oyote, one of the persons vying for the constituency's first vice chairman position. A supporter, Kingsford Amate, was allegedly beaten by thugs, causing injuries to his head after he questioned the mandate of the electoral commissioner, who is also vying for the vice chairman position in the party. This do not go down well with the MPP's chairman, as the elections committee in the constituency, Mr. Adai Parker, who allegedly caused the assault on Kingsford Amate and his colleagues. According to the party members who are aggrieved with the situation, they have petitioned their leadership about the conduct of the election committee chairman, who doubles as the Greater Accra regional chairman of the party. They are therefore calling for the election committee chairman to be sanctioned by the national executives of the party. Still on local stories, 4 people lost their lives in an accident involving a Mercedes-Benz bus and a Renault cargo truck at the Peki-Avetile portion of the East Corridor Road soon after midnight Monday, March 14th, 2022. According to the police, the cargo truck with registration number GT6915 loaded the bags of cement with a passenger on board was traveling from Accra to Dambai when the tragedy occurred. On reaching a section of the road in front of the Peki College of Education, Nkawkaw, the truck collided on with the Benz bus GR with the registration number GR1967F, which was traveling from the Oti region to Accra with foodstuffs and passengers aboard. The Benz bus overturned in the middle of the road while the truck veered off the road and crashed into a shop meters away. The director of the police public affairs in the Volta region, DSP Efiatenge, said 4 adults on board the Benz bus, including 3 females and driver, died on the spot. She said the police had so far established an identities of the females, while efforts were underway to identify the remaining deceased person. An eyewitness shared this.
Na ekopie mu ese eye Benz bus no arodu efri eye otimantema ekwa akopiem ewo eye enkran se walodu nipa omo ekwa akopidi omo pa omo kwa akopidi ababidi ene omo ekono eye peve ene peki ekwan so metire etikuma ekwan so na sa enkwanhie ekusi ya also any a year cargo Renault car be and so unload cement a free and crime. Also a baby pim ever done by enti wo rekwa car no e kono ye Peki-Avetile e kwano so a ben a war south day mensimu e wo framantemu e ho na enkwanhie esiye anatu de shum be ye dumienu abapa ho e ye du emi edudum na sa enkwanhie esiya
Ghana Talks Radio, #1.
That's really sad. We hope their souls finds eternal peace. So to business stories now. The National Task Force of the Electricity Company of Ghana Limited has cut power supply to the Ghana Airports Company Limited, GACL, over debt to the tune of 49 million cedis. According to the team lead, Nene Shadrach Massey, the debt is affecting the operation of the ECG, hence the need to embark on such distress action. Sources indicate that the task force was expecting GSEL to settle at least 50% of the debt, but the GSEL company opted to pay 1 million cedis. This, the ECG believes, is not enough to cover the arrears. The task force revealed that the GACL was given prior notice before the distress action on Monday, 15th March 2022. Meanwhile, the National Task Force team of the ECG did not disconnect power supply to the Terminal 3 and the runways at Kotoka International Airport. The affected areas disconnected were the head offices and the office complex. The task force also revealed that power will only be restored when the Ghana Airports Company Limited settles at least 50% of the amount owed.
The team was earlier at the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, but the feedback I had was that they were being given a demand notice to respond within a week. Later, we went to the Ghana Airports Company Limited, and over there, the Airport Company Limited owes the Electricity Company of Ghana 49 million Ghana cedis. I tried as much as possible to reach out to the any member from the Ghana Airport Company Limited, but attempt all proved futile. They intended to give the Electricity Company of Ghana 1 million Ghana cedis, but according to the task force, they were expecting at least 50% of the 49 million Ghana cedis. So they went ahead and disconnected the power
Ghana
supply.
Talks Radio, #1.
Consumers who have the means of purchasing food produce in quantities have been advised to do so because there is going to be food shortage in the country in the coming months. According to the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana, consumers should purchase food items like maize, rice, millet, among others, and store them because the prices are going to escalate. The head of programs and advocacy for Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana, Dr. Charles Inyaba, gave an advice in an interview. Mr. Nyaba was speaking to the cost of living and the price hike in the country, especially fuel price. The Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana COPEC has predicted that diesel may sell at over 10 cedis per litre, while petrol will cross 9 cedis from March 16th, 2022. COPEC attributed its prediction on the rising cost of crude on the international markets and the cedi, which is currently depreciation among major trading currencies. In a statement, it said the free on-board prices of petrol increased by 19.28% from $917.48 MT to $194.33 diesel by 34.57 from the $845.50 to $137.78 and LPG by 17.42% from the $845.93. In addition, COPEC said the ex-pound prices of LPG will also increase by 23% from the 9 cedis 80 pesos per kilogram in this current windows of the 12.4 cedis per kg in the next window beginning March 16th, 2022. This implies that the 14.5 kg
Ghana Talks Radio,
sold at
#1.
174.58 cedis, COPEC added. The executive secretary of COPEC, Duncan Namwa, had this to say.
Scary. The cedi has depreciated close to 10% within the past 2 weeks. You also have world market prices having shot up significantly. For diesel, you are looking at a difference of almost $316 per metric ton, when the usual averages have been 30, 40, sometimes 20. You are doing $316 per metric variance, whilst petrol has done between $180 and $190 difference since the past 2 weeks. What this would mean in nominal terms is that your fuel prices effective Wednesday, the 16th of March, could see a minimum of 2 cedis increment. And so where most pumps are today dispensing at 8 cedi 49,
This is Ghana Talks Radio, the best station rocking the nation.
to our next business stories, and several multinational companies have halted operations as China widens its COVID lockdowns, among its biggest since the start of the pandemic. Tens of millions of people across the country face restrictions, including entire Jilin province and technology hub Shenzhen, as authorities report record numbers of cases. Toyota, Volkswagen, and Apple suppliers Fastcon are among the firms affected. The lockdowns have raised concerns that crucial supply chains may be disrupted. China on Tuesday reported a record of high of more than 5,000 cases, most of it in Jilin. All the 24 million residents of the northeastern province were placed under quarantine orders on Monday. It is the first time China has restricted an entire province since the Wuhan and Hebei lockdown at the beginning of the pandemic. The Jilin residents have been banned from moving around, and anyone wanting to leave the province must apply for police permission. On international front, UK Foreign Office Minister James Clevis had an interview on the BBC Breakfast, and he says that the Russian plan of attack is not working and has been met with ferocious defense by Ukrainians.
The sad but simple truth is that the Russian plan of attack is not working. It was meant to be very easy. It was meant to be some kind of lightning war where Russian troops swept across Ukraine. But what we're seeing is the defense by the Ukrainian people has been ferocious. This, of course, is incredibly frustrating to Vladimir Putin. And we're now seeing an escalation, the targeting of civilians and civilian infrastructure, which of course is illegal in international humanitarian law and the law of armed conflict. Sadly, this is I think a byproduct of his anger, his frustration at the ineffective attack that he has put into Ukraine. And obviously we continue to support the Ukrainian people through humanitarian aid, economic aid, and also that defensive military equipment.
This is Ghana Talks Radio, the best station rocking the nation.
Foreign Office Minister James Cleverly, who has been responding to the shock interruption of a Russian news program on state-controlled TV by a news editor holding an anti-war sign. So he tells the BBC Breakfast these acts of defiance, which also include people taken to the streets in Russia, are important and show a huge deal of bravery in what is an oppressive authoritarian state. His sign refers to the Russian propaganda and clearly also said it is really important that the Russian people understand what is being done in their name in Ukraine, as they have been systematically lied to by President Putin. A number of residential buildings in the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv have been badly damaged by Russian airstrikes this morning. 2 people were killed in an airstrike that hit one block of flats, according to the Ukraine's state emergency service. Another 35 people were rescued. The Kyiv City State Administration has compiled a list of buildings in the Ukrainian capital that had been damaged by the shelling overnight.
This is Ghana Talks Radio, the best station rocking the nation.
Still international stories. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has warned that Russia's war against Ukraine could lead to what he called a hurricane of hunger and food insecurity worldwide. He said many African and poor countries rely heavily on Russia and Ukraine wheat production now endangered by the conflict. This includes Burkina Faso, Somalia, and Yemen, which are already struggling to feed their populations. Mr. Guterres called for an immediate ceasefire to avoid the breakdown of the world food system. He also announced a $40 million, that is 31 million euros package to help millions of Ukrainians facing hunger and dwelling supplies of water and medicine. We move to Kenya, and Kenya will from Tuesday pay more for fuel as the Russian invasion of Ukraine continues to affect the price of crude oil and refined products. The East African country's petroleum regulator said the price of petrol and diesel will increase by 5 Kenyan shilling. The fuel prices regulator said the price of kerosene, which is used in many poor Kenyan households to cook, remains unchanged. Kenya's petroleum subsidy program has kept fuel prices unchanged for 4 months in a row. After Russia invaded Ukraine, Brent crude oil hit a 14-year high. The price of essential commodities is expected to go up in the East African country. To some entertainment stories, and Ed Sheeran belittled a songwriter who accused him of stealing one of his songs, London's High Court has heard. Sammy Crockey says that he was hurt by the tones of Sheeran's lawyer's emails after he noticed similarities between his song All Why and Ed Sheeran's Shape of You. I feel like I have been robbed by someone I respect or respected, he told the court. This is the year of a cloud over my head. All I heard and read was emails belittling me and my questions. He continued by saying that I wanted to do was ask for an explanation. He later called the trial the most horrible few weeks of his life. This is why I end the afternoon news. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can visit the website www.ghanatalksradio.com for more news update. My name is Sandra Asante. Stay tuned for the sport tidbit. Have a great afternoon.
This is Ghana Talks Radio, the best station rocking the nation.